Hey, everybody. How are you doing? I am here testing out Restream to see how it's going to go. I'm not really sure. I hope you guys can hear me. I hope the volume is good and everything. So let me know in the comment section if you guys can actually hear me and everything like that. So I just wanted to come live and test out Restream and also to say to all of the Gems family, hope you're doing great. And I wanted to say, are you living your best life? That's a question honestly only we can answer. Hey Edward, how are you doing? Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Hi, Misty. How are you doing? Welcome. So, I am testing out Restream. Let me know if you guys can hear me, if the volume is good. This is my second thing that I tried. I tried Evum, what is it, Evmux or whatever it's called. uh I still, the jury is out on that one still, but I am kind of liking the Restream, but we shall see. You guys let me know if you can hear me, if the volume is okay and everything. um Edward says I am doing okay. I'm glad you're doing okay, Edward. Good. So that means that you guys can hear me. So the volume is good. So I just wanted to come on for a little bit and chit chat for good. I'm glad that the volume sounds. I was kind of concerned about that because I don't know what I did on the last time I tried to use this. It definitely didn't work out very good for me because, like everything, you're testing things out, so you don't know what works and what doesn't work and all of those things. But yeah, I just honestly came on to say hello to everybody, and that I'm hoping that you all are doing really good. And I just wanted to say hi to everybody and to do a little bit of a topic, because there's a lot of times where we are not living our life to the fullest potential possible. I did that for such a long period of time. I had allowed the negativity from other people, the judgments from other people, and just life happening to stop me from being happy. Don't let life stop you from being happy, because each and every one of us deserves to be happy. Don't let anybody stop you from being your best, and don't let other people stop your mental health from being in a good space. Because I went through that for a really long time, allowing the other people who are weird or strange or manipulative or whatever to really mess up my mental health, stop me from having peace and joy in my life. And really, the truth is, we can only live our best life when we believe that we can. And we have to kind of learn to push people to the side that are not helping us to grow and are not contributing to our peace of mind. Hey, Kristen, how are you doing? Welcome. So, any of those people who are trying to block you from your peace and try to stop you from being happy, you need to leave those people alone. You need to block them out and leave them alone, because it's just not worth it. Um, our life is way too precious for that. Hold on a second, guys. Okay. So, where were we? In speaking about living our best life, how do you all feel? Do you feel that right now, if this was your last day living, that you would feel fulfilled, you would be happy, and you would be at peace with the life that you have lived? I know if it was my last day, I would have wished I had done some things differently because we feel like we have all of this time, right? Oh, I'm only this age, or I just need a little bit more money, or I just need this. And that pursuit of feeling like we have to have a perfect situation, perfect circumstances, the right amount of money, your situation in your life is not ever going to be perfect. And I'm not saying this to be like a Betty Downer to talk about doom and gloom, but if we do not do something to change our life, it's going to stay the same. So that means that we have some work to do. We need to make some plans and that are reasonable and attainable, and just go after doing one thing at a time, learning how to accomplish things. Hi, Miss Lynn. How are you doing? Welcome. And we have to learn how to accomplish things, because nobody is going to help us to accomplish things in our life if we don't. We have to get ourselves focused and we have to believe in ourselves. I've said it before, and I know that I'm not the only person, but sometimes we can be our own worst critic. We can be our own worst critic, our own worst enemy, and that's a tough one right there. Like you'll be sabotaging your own success, your own joy, your own peace, your own everything, and that's not what we want. I know it's not what I want. I always want better in my life. Miss Lynn says she's having a wonderful day. So glad to hear that, Miss Lynn. And that's something that, I had to really work on that because if we're not really careful from being around toxic people or drama people, negative people, judgmental people, social media, there's so much extremes in this life. Like the media portrays a life that you're only happy if you have these things. Like you have to have the best home, the best clothes, the best this, the best that. And for most of us who are not rich, can't afford to have certain clothes or homes or whatever it is. We're just living within our means and minding our own personal business. So the thing about it is that we each have to learn how to be happy with ourself, our life, and whatever we don't like, we have to put in work to shift it so that it can be our best life possible, our happiest. And it's honestly just one day at a time. Putting one foot in front of the other and giving ourselves the permission to say, today I'm going to make today better than my yesterday was. And living my best life is going to be completely different from somebody else. For me, living my best life means not letting other people disrupt my mental health and taking care of my health and eating a certain way. Whereas another person, that could be completely different. For me, Living my best life means that I'm healthy, because for me, health is wealth. And when I am good, I have good health, like I'm not sick, I'm not in a hospital, I don't need anybody to help me, I can handle my own business. For me, I'm just speaking for Marlene. For me, that is riches. A lot of people, they attach riches to money. And for me, I feel like riches is attached to having peace of mind, having joy in my life, having good health, and loving myself, and having a few select people that love me back. I'm not a greedy person. I'm not a materialistic person. I don't care about having lots of things, but that's just me. Don't get me wrong, yeah. Merlin likes nice things, but I'm not going to be willing to have all this debt and do all of these things to be able to front or to make myself seem a certain way. I'm happy with whatever I have worked hard for, whatever God has blessed me with. I'm thankful for all of those things. So that's just me personally, being transparent and everything. But it took me a long time to get there. Trust and believe. When I was younger, it was all about what brand I was wearing. It was about, having lots of people in my life. For me, before, it used to be about quantity. And now that I have learned myself, loved myself, and really found out what matters to me, before my life was about quantity. Like I wanted to have lots of people and lots of things. And now for me, living my best life is about having quality things. I want to have quality relationships, not just knowing 50 people. Yeah, 50 people, but people supportive. Are they encouraging you? Do they motivate you and inspire you? You know, for me, that's having a quality, rich life, is having people that pour into me when I'm empty. I did miss a few comments. Let's see what I missed here. Edward says, Amen. And Edward says, facts. Yeah. So that's one of the things that, I think I'm working on it still. I'm still a work in progress. I'm working on me and learning how to be happier, learning how to be joyful and not looking uh, to anybody but within myself, having inner peace. For me, that is living my best life. And it's taken me many, many years for me to say that living my best life is to have peace. Like I'm happy with me. I don't need a friend. I don't need things. I am happy just with the person that I am today. And that for me is living my best life. When I can look at myself in the mirror and I can be confident, like, and smile at the person looking back at me. I have my own relationship with myself. I have joy in my life and I do things to make myself happy. Whereas before, I think I was always, my joy only was when other people around me had joy. And if they were upset or miserable, I was upset and miserable too. And I had to learn how to move past that and understand that, yes, you have um, empathy for other people, but you also have to have compassion for yourself. And that's a really big life lesson, that we have to learn how to find our own joy in our life, that people can assist in our happiness, but ultimately we have to make our own self happy. If you're always looking for other people to make you happy, you'll never be happy. And I know a lot of people who, like me, was on that perpetual search for so many years, searching, and you're thinking that your joy is going to come in money, your joy is going to come in a romantic relationship, your joy would come in having lots of things and all of the, but when at the end of the day you may have all of those things, but what about the people that you have in your life, and spending time with those people, and you know and being healthy enough to be able to enjoy it, because I've seen people who have had lots and lots of money and cars and all these beautiful things, and yet they're sick. They don't have the health to be able to look around and enjoy all of the things that they've accumulated, or they've put in so much work into having money and they can't enjoy it. They can't go anywhere and also spend time with people for the things that you've worked hard to achieve. So for me, living my best life isn't just uh it isn't just saying that, which is nice because I do nice quality things. I know everybody does, but also making sure that I put into that I'm not defined by what I have. I'm defined by my personality, by how I treat myself, how I treat other people. And I think that that's very important to put into your life, thoughts about how do you treat other people. And I do believe that, what goes around comes around. How you treat a person, it's going to come back to you. And most of the time, I feel like that boomerang, when that boomerang comes back around, if you've done a lot of good things, I think good things come back to you. And of course, we're not perfect. Nobody is perfect. But I think for the most part, when you do right, you treat people right, good things happen to you. But also in that, living your best life, you have to learn too that no matter how much you try, you can't make other people happy. You have to make yourself happy, and you have to square off time for yourself. And that was a major life lesson about living my best life. Is not waiting for friends or family or this person, or like looking for a perfect situation. It's not going to look like a social media reel or a short where everything is like this fairy tale way. Living your best life has to be on the terms where on your terms, not what society deems to be the perfect life. But for me, having the best life, a perfect life, really is about having inner peace and joy, and being able to laugh and to be able to share precious moments and quality time with people that care about me back, because I've done that for such a long time, pour so much time and effort into people that we supposedly care about us. And in your times of need, when you need emotional support, physical support, financial, and etc., there's nobody around you. So for me, it's something that I had to learn to live my best life, is make sure that you're not just putting out. You're not just giving away your money, your energy, your time, your resources, that you're also, because you work hard, making sure that you're doing some things for yourself, for your hard work, making sure that you take some time off to relax and have some fun hobbies and do all of those things for your peace of mind. And I've seen it so often in, working in the medical field, working in um, uh, um, hospitality and management and all different types of. I always see is people will be chasing after the to make all of this money, and what it is, they just keep helping other people, never pouring any, you know. That's something that I had to learn, that get from the mindset of helping everybody, also learning to put on my own oxygen mask and start taking care of myself, my teeth, getting my dental work, and going to the doctor and eating nutritious foods, not just the foods that we say are taste good, but thinking about things as we get older, that we can't do what we used to do. No, we can't do what we used to do, and that's okay, you know? And that's one of the things that I've always said, that I never want to be that old lady that is sitting in a chair, miserable, angry, chewing people out because I didn't have enough courage to live my life, you know? Yeah, you have to work, but also along the way, reward yourself with certain things, like reward yourself. Sometimes that reward is just taking a day off because you need to sleep, or going for a long walk, or whatever it is that you like to do for fun, and living your best life is all about that. You have to cut out other people's expectations. Yes, Edward, it is real talk. You have to cut out people's expectations, and what they want from you and what they think you should do or be. If you keep going by what other people want from you or expect from you, then you'll never get to be the person that you deserve to be, the person that feels fulfilled and at peace. And I had to really go about, going in my mind and removing some of that guilt from myself and giving myself the permission to forgive what other people said to me, that it's selfish when you have self-care, or you don't answer people's phone calls, or you don't do the things that you used to do. For me, living my best life is knowing what I want, knowing what I'm supposed to do, knowing what I deserve, and giving myself the permission to be that. And when you get to that position of elevation, self love, self worth, and you are self aware of what you're capable of, you have to learn to dismiss the negatives. You got to learn what to take from other people and what to discard, because there's a lot in this life that nobody really teaches us what to discard. And you have to get away from feeling guilty about what other people think, about people like, and whatever other people want, and all of. You got to get aside from that, and you got to be in your lane, minding your business, and not letting other people distract you. And that your life is not going to look like your sister, auntie, mama, cousin, whoever. And know that that's good. You know, personal satisfaction, personal joy, personal peace is something that I think is very evading for most adults. And it's something that people are always searching, trying to reach for that personal joy, enrichment, satisfaction, and they never receive it because they never look inward. They look to others for validation, and you can't look to another person to validate you. You have to validate yourself. And for me, that's one of the best things that I ever did, was getting a therapist and working on myself and giving myself the permission to let go of things that was done to me, and also giving myself the permission to just be me. And knowing that I'm not perfect and that I don't have to try to be. I don't have to support everybody. Everybody's not going to like me, and know that that's good. You don't want everybody to support you. You don't want everybody to be there because there's a lot of drama, negativity, evil, and all that. And we don't need that in our life. The older that I'm getting, the more that I realize is just having just a few select people is the most beneficial. The more people you have in your life is the more drama. The less people in your life is the less trauma. The more people you have, and for me, that being at the harmony is being around people around me, not for to know my personal business, not to try to tell me what to do, not to be controlling or manipulative. They don't want anything back. All they want is to see me happy, to see me have peace. And I feel the same way about them. It's very rare to find people in life that will just be there for you just because you exist. And for me, I feel like it's a blessing that I have a handful of people that just want to see me smile. And I want the same thing for them. I want nothing but the best, their upliftment, enrichment, their peace, their mental health, their joy is important to me. And if you have people like that, then you really are blessed. You really are living your best life, because some people through their whole life and they never find anybody appreciates them. That it's all about being used and abused. But at the end of the day, we are the ones that have to make a decision to choose ourselves. And that's one of the best decisions that I ever made. When I started therapy years ago, I'm not in therapy now. Hey, Don, Zani. Um, when I started therapy so many years ago, I'm not in therapy now. That was the thing that I was reaching for. And I thought that I would never ever get to a place that I could ever have peace. I felt like peace was always evading me. I felt like I could never have joy. I could never have self-love. I could never have those things because my perception of of love was inside of other people, and I had to really dive down deep. I had to really dive down deep inside of myself and do a lot of inner healing. I had to do a lot of soul searching. I had to really go inside of myself and ask myself some deep questions, some dark questions. I had to do some healing. I had to question the things that had been told to me, because I'll tell you guys that so often we're told things and we're expected to believe that. But the things that you were told as a child, I had to learn that a lot of it is lies. It's it's um it's people projecting their fears and their insecurities onto us. And therapy really helped me with that. It's not that we can erase what was said or done to us, but therapy helped me to replace those negative things that was said to me, and be able to, now I can insert new narratives, new hopes, new dreams for myself. And even if other people don't like it or accept it, I'm so proud that I can say, no, this is what I want. And if you don't like that, that's your business, because I'm in my lane. I'm in my lane, minding my business, doing my purpose with passion and joy. And I'll tell you guys, it was like free falling. It was the most peace that I've ever had in my life. And at any time, we can give ourselves that permission to let go by forgiving the people that hurt us, and hitting that backspace button and inserting a new narrative. Everybody who told you you couldn't, now I say the couldn'ts are now cans, and the won'ts are my wills, and the shouldn'ts are the should, but all of that is always up to us. And we can't get there until we're ready to get there, until you work on your confidence, until you work on loving yourself and respecting yourself. Nothing is going to shift. I had to learn that part. I had to learn that I was the one that had to shift my life. I was the one that had to make myself happy. Nobody could make me happy. I had to make myself happy. I had to do the hard work. I had to look at myself and to look at all of every part of me, my fears, my insecurities, my everything, my hopes, my dreams, my talents and my gifts, and embrace all of it. And when you embrace all of it, you give yourself the permission to let go of what isn't helping, let go of what is hurting you, and grab on to the things that are helping you. See, and what can help you is confidence. What can help you is healing and positive self-talk, clapping for yourself. That's one of the reasons why Marlene can be consistent on everything that I do in my life, and how I can move how I move, because I talk to myself. And you have to talk yourself through those hard times. When, say for example, you want to go to the gym, or for a walk, or do something, and the first thing that will pop in my mind will be, oh, we're tired, let's take some rest. But I never listen to that first thing that pops in my head. And I said, we can rest later. Let's go. And I'll be going through this struggle. I'll be having this argument with myself, and it really is a battle. And you have to be stronger than your thoughts. You can't give into every sway, every the movement of the wind, or how other people think. You have to be very powerful inside of yourself. Even when you don't feel like doing something, you push yourself to do it anyways. I really don't, I don't want to do it. And the more that you start winning the battle of the mind, is the more your life will improve. You'll be consistent. You'll be procrastination is no longer a part of your personality. And I can only say that because I used to be the number one procrastinator. That's what I used to do. I used to start, and I could never finish anything. But I know that being a procrastinator for myself, I can't speak for anybody but me, but being a procrastinator was all inside of me, wanting acceptance. And I wanted acceptance from certain individuals. And when I healed that inside of myself, that the only ones that need to accept me is me and God. Everybody else outside of me and God is irrelevant. Not that I don't care about those people, but I can't let those people stop me from living my life. I can't let other people stop me from joy and accomplishing goals and doing all the things that I deserve. And when I started to really realize that I deserve greatness, when not just saying it, but I mean believing it, and believing it in your gut. It's in your heart. It's what you think about. It's your drive, your passion for life. When you really believe that, your life is going to change. Your life will change when you believe in yourself. Yes. Yes, you have to put on your oxygen mask. And that was one of the things that, a lot of times we'll be doing so many things our whole life, right? Your family, like you're raised to have this thought, and this is what you should do. This is what support looks like. and you're not a good person, you're mean, you're this, you're that if you don't do those things. So that's one of the things that I'm talking about. I had to learn how to backspace and give myself a new narrative. I'm not a bad person because I don't do this, this, and this for whoever. That means that I am confident and I know about boundaries and I know how to say no because people need to make their own decisions for themselves. And I'm not everybody's savior. When I learned that, boy, I'm telling you, I really started to grow into the person that I am today because you have a lot more time, you have a lot more peace, money, and your mental health improves when you stop being there for everybody and putting yourself last. When I learned to stop putting myself last and putting myself right behind this space that I call it's my space for God. It's what first I said, God, what do you want me to do? And then after that, then I say, what do I want to do within God's will for me? See, that was the shift that I didn't have before. And I think sometimes that we leave out God. What does God want for us to do? First, we think about making a spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, this person. We think about who you're in a relationship with. You think about your kids. You think about your relatives. You think about everybody, a job. You think even a pet. You think about everybody before you think about yourself, and that is something that has to shift. You can't live your best life if everybody comes before you. You can't make other people come in front of you. And you especially have to stop putting the cart before the horse. You cannot put a husband, a wife, a boyfriend, or a girlfriend, siblings, kids before God. So much people that they're leaving out the most important and essential thing. They forget to ask, what is the direction? Is this good for me? What do you think? Should I do this? No, they go ahead and do something because that's what I used to do. I do whatever I want, and then when I fall flat on my face, then I'll say, oh God, can you help me? And I had to learn how to develop my own relationship with God, and that really has centered me, balanced me, got me focused, and everything got me all the way together. I had to I had to learn that nothing comes before God. Nothing should disrupt my mental health. And if it does, then you got to go. And that's all there is to it. It just goes in that order. It's God, and then it's me, and then after that comes other people in my life. But I had to learn to stop putting myself on the back burner and put myself in the second position. I always call in this life you should be the co-pilot, and not allowing ourselves. Sometimes you don't even put yourself in the car, or on the table. We forget about ourselves and don't think about anything about ourselves. Taking care of our self-care, taking care of our health, seeing the doctors and doing all the things we need to do. We can't live our best life if we're not healthy. You got to get healthy in every aspect. You got to work on that emotional baggage. You have to work on your own relationship with whatever it is that you believe in spiritually. You have to work on all of those things because all of those things put together, when you've healed that emotional baggage, when you've done everything that you need to do and take care of yourself, and you got healthy, and you're eating the right way, and you're drinking water. And for me, I worked really hard, and I've gotten to the space where, okay, I'm good now with my relationship with God, and I'm good with my relationship with me, and I love me fiercely. but my issue has been recently that I cannot get a hold on that food, taking care of myself the way that I need to do. you know that food is just, it's so tough because I don't know where you guys live, but living in the South, and there's so many options for delicious food, and it's like you have to understand that you can't eat like you used to eat when you were 18 or 21 years old. As you get older, you got to think about cholesterol and this and that and everything else, and cutting back on sugar, and so much other things. You guys know, I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving medical advice. I'm just sharing my personal experiences. But we have to, when you know better, you have to do better. And for me, that's living my best life. I have something that I've written on my fridge, and it reminds me every time, are we eating because we're bored, or are we eating because we're hungry? Because a lot of times, like, I'm a person that I eat my pain, or I stress eat. If I'm stressed out, my go-to is, oh, I was like, I need some chips. I need some cookie. No, you don't need those things. And my thing is, mine came from, that's the way I was raised. Every time something would happen, here comes a snack. Here comes this, and I had to learn to stop emotionally eating and to face my issues, to face my problems. And I can't tell you guys how hard that is. And if I'm upset about something, then I give myself the permission to confront it, to talk about how I'm feeling, to meditate, to pray, to talk to the person, to communicate instead of just shoving some food in my mouth. And that's hard. I'm still a work in progress when it comes to that. I have not overcome that as of yet, but I'm working on it. At least I am cognizant of it now. I'm aware that I know how to stop now and say, you know what? You are not hungry. You are eating because of boredom, or you're eating because you don't want to talk about something. So that's something that I had to learn in living my best life. I can't live my best life if I'm not healthy. You can't live your best life if you're huffing and puffing. You walk a few steps and you feel like you're gonna fall out. So for me, living my best life is, I really have to focus in on taking better care of my health and what I'm eating. And eating is not just physical food, it's what I'm eating emotionally and mentally, like the things that I have, because we're bombarded in today's society. We're overstimulated by everything, the things that we see from entertainment, the things on social media, the things that we hear from other people. It's always something that's coming at us, and we have to be very careful with what we take into our mind and what we believe about ourselves, because if you can't believe everything that you see, because it's a lot of evil, it's a lot of lies in the entertainment world in today's society. And if you feel that you have to look or be like other people to be happy or be successful, you'll never be happy or successful. you know all I can say, and really coming to the end of this topic and discussion, is that you have to know for yourself. I hope that this discussion at least got you to do some thinking. What do I want for myself? Am I happy? Am I taking good care of myself? And if the answer is no, you make a list. What do I want to shift in my life. I want to improve. And then you work on things one by one. And I'm taking care of 10 things at a time. It doesn't work. On one thing until you get it and you check list and you move on to the next thing. That's how we can live our best. Us, if something's stopping or blocking us, then we are going to work on it. We're going to communicate. We're going to heal. We're going to let things go, forgive. And then we're going to give ourselves the permission to move on ever is necessary so that we can be happy. We can have peace. We can live the life that we deserve to live. And sometimes that means closing doors, closing access to us, cutting people off, blocking people. And it's not because they're necessarily bad people, but sometimes we outgrow people because when we learn things, when we grow things, when we become better, we just aren't interested in what we used to be interested in. And that's okay too. So I just wanted to have this discussion with everybody to say this. I hope that you are living your best life. And if you're not, you give yourself the permission to think, why am I not? What does living my best life actually would look like? What would I be doing? How do I look? Well, what would my weight? How would I dress? What's the lifestyle? What would I be doing? Am I in my life's work? Am I joyful and I have peace? All of those things are important to being and living our best life. Okay. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming to today's topic and discussion. I so very much appreciate every single one of you. Shout out to all of the mods. Shout out to all of the channel members. I really and truly appreciate you guys so much. And I just have to see how this is going to go with Restream and all of this stuff. Like I said, I'm testing this out. So we're going to see if Restream is going to be the winner. I think the next one that I'm going to test is going to be either, I think I'm going to try OBS again and see how that goes. And if not OBS, Streamlabs. I haven't tried that for a very long time, but I did want to say to everybody, make sure that you are giving yourself the permission to not only be happy, but do the things that make you happy and not allowing other people to get in your head and control you, make you feel like you have to do what they want you to do. You have to have enough courage to stand up and to say, this is what me being happy, me having peace, me having joy looks like. And then doing that. And it takes a lot of courage to do that. And I clap for all my courageous Gems family. I clap for those who have had to sometimes walk a road alone. Sometimes you got to close doors. You got to close access to other people because they're holding you down. They're stopping your peace and your you could think all you want to that people care about you, but what it is that we care about them, but they don't care about us back. Just something for some reflection um, in your downtime, in your solo time where you do some meditation and reflection. Think about those things and who you have in your life, and are they helpful, supportive, and encouraging? And if not, why am I allowing it? Only we can answer those questions, because I want each and every one of us to live our best life, to have all the peace that we deserve, to live the life that we want and that fills up our cup, because there is nothing like uh, having your cup full because you've been doing the inner work, you've been doing the healing, you've been getting into action because you love yourself. And I want that for all of you. Okay. I want that for every single one of you. I want every single one of you to be happy. Hey, Miss Purple, how are you doing? Welcome. Right, Dawn? Yeah. Yes. Amen, Miss Lynn. I want every single one of you to live your best life. I want every single one of you to be happy. And the way life is going, we never know when is our last day. And I'm not trying to say to sound negative or anything like that. I'm saying it because it's real. We never know how long that we're going to have. So, are you going to do what it takes in order for you to be happy? No. It took a lot for me to do this like 3 years ago. I had a good job, but I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy there. It's not what I was supposed to do. It wasn't my life's work. I didn't have joy doing it. Yeah, okay, it's money, but my personal opinion is there's more to life than just money. I had to start doing things that bring me peace, and that's why I got into doing life coaching and mentoring and doing what I do on my YouTube channels and my other social media and podcasts and some things that I'm going to do in the future. It does. It takes a lot of courage to change from what you're comfortable in. But you know what I've said so many times, everybody, is you have to get uncomfortable to get comfortable. No, it's in that time of looking at yourself in the mirror, really evaluating the people around you, and then making a decision. Having this person in my life, is it helping me or is it hurting me? Am I growing or am I regressing? That's that those are really big and deep questions, but the thing about it is there's a lot of times we know we're not growing, we know we're not happy, we know we're not joyful, but we don't do anything about it. But there's no time like the present, and it's not a time to beat up yourself and to be down on yourself. No, you know, well, when you know better, you do better. And today, in this moment, we know better. We know we deserve better, and we don't have to take or accept foolishness. Okay, we're gems. No, and you know what a gem is. It's precious. It's rare. Okay, it's valued. And if you value yourself, there's a lot of things that you just won't take. Hey, Real Odds and Evens, how are you doing? Welcome. Real Odds and Evens says, and you do a great job of doing it. Hey, Marlene. Thank you so much, Real Odds and Evens. I hope you're doing great. Thank you so much. Yeah, I just wanted to say that to everybody. And I want you guys to know that Marlene's not perfect. I never have claimed to be, but I'm just a woman who is on a life journey of healing. And I never want to get to this space to where I say I'm comfortable. I always want to be uncomfortable my whole life, because the more that I grow is the more that I learn, the more peace I experience, the more I get to know more things about other people. I learn more about myself. And for me, that really is living your best life, is letting yourself be on the edge and not running from it. You know, that's what most people don't do, is they never face their fears. When that fear, they run the other direction like their pants is on fire. But anything that I have a draw, a pull towards, like a magnetic pull, like I want, oh yeah, that is for me. And then I get myself hyper focused. I was like, okay, this is what we're going to do. And I make a plan. I talk with my mentors, my accountability partners, and then I get myself in gear. And I give myself the talk. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I tell myself off. I'll be like, we're not backing down. We're not listening to anybody else. We're not stopping. We're going to stay focused. And I give myself the permission to be great and succeed at this. So if you guys are not having those chit chats yourself, time to start. It wasn't until I started talking to myself and saying whatever it is I needed, that you can do this. You got to yourself up. You got to be your own cheerleader. There's nobody who's going to cheerlead for you and say you can do it, go for it until yourself that. And that was some always waiting for people that I cared about to say that. Like, go ahead and do it. I'll be there. I'll support you. No, you got to learn how to support yourself. You got to support yourself, everybody, because you'll go through your whole life and then you'll say, man, I wish. And you'll have that shoulda, woulda, couldas. And none of the things on your bucket list, on your dreams, your goals, your aspirations have been checked off. And that right there is not a good feeling. We may not be able to do everything that we want to do, but we for sure can do some of those things. You for sure can, for sure. So I just wanted to give you a little gentle encouragement, a reminder, give you a pat on the back and tell you keep doing your best. Stay the course. Get focused. Meditate about it. If you're a person of faith, pray about it. But ultimately at the end of the day, it's up to you, you know. I'm only here to I give the message like I always say, I'm just a messenger. I'm just a messenger with a lot to say because I know what it feels like to be lost. I know what it feels like to not know my worth and my value. And the whole thing about it is I didn't even know I was lost. I didn't even know that I was distracted. I didn't even know that I was way out there. Sometimes you can be drifting like on a boat. You can just you're at the shoreline and then next thing you're all the way out. You don't even realize when you get so lost sometimes listening to people doing all these things, you know, and sometimes you get lazy, you get distracted, you get discouraged, or, life is just lifing and, you're just tired, literally, just physically, emotionally, and mentally tired, just tired. And one thing that I have to say is that we can't live our best life if we don't find out what are the sources of what is making us tired. And when I was able to isolate, okay, it's that this person, this person, or it's that, or it's what I'm watching on TV, social media, whatever that is pulling from me. Trust and believe that the negative energy from other people, it does affect us. Yes, it does. But we may not be able to do anything about those negative people, but we can always change how much time we put into it. The energy, do you listen to it or are you dismissive? Do you close your ears out? Like, I don't want to hear that. I don't have time for it. Oh, I don't want to be a part of it. Or do you get into, tell me about, wanting to know the tea. Oh, what's going on with this or that? See, I don't have time for the tea and the gossip from other people because I'm so busy and focused on my business, my happiness, using my gifts, doing God's work that is for me within my talents that was given to me. And I pray about this all the time. I pray that I use my gifts and I can open up and transparently share things with others to just be a source of encouragement and to show other people, I too I get down, I get discouraged, and then I get up and I rise up and I call a mentor. Anytime you feel down, you feel discouraged, don't sit in that. See, that's what other people, that's what listen, that is what other people, I can't even tell you guys so much of this happened to me so often in my life, like over 10 years of my life. I was so depressed because of other people in my life that were causing me to be depressed because they were always bringing drama into my life, and they always wanted me to support them, and listening to them complain, and they were always angry and they're always pointing the finger at somebody else, and it can become so stressful. Like my head used to hurt. I used to always feel drained. I never wanted to pick up the phone, but I would. And one day I just stopped. I was like, I'm not answering their phone calls anymore. I'm not going over anywhere where I don't feel positive energy and joy and peace. I just don't do it anymore. Real Odds and Even says, yes, and sometimes we have to distance ourselves. Yes, you have to think about yourselves, everybody. There's nobody who's going to think about you if you don't think about yourself. So that's all from here, everybody. I just wanted to come live, chit chat for a little bit. I tested out Restream and I like it. I think you guys can hear me pretty well. I got to think about how I can add my clips and my music and stuff. And if that goes well, keep stream. Okay. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being my Gems family. We're learning, growing, healing, and we're being our best selves. Okay. Our best self. Don't anybody tell you you can't be your best self, because you can. The reason why we can't be our best because we are allowing people to get in our head and you believe it. Once you get away from those negative drama, dark, evil, controlling, manipulative, lying, low vibrational, no, I don't want to say poor people, but people who make choices stay in that position. So be careful of those that don't want to grow and don't want to be happy. Okay. Yes. Thank you all so much for your support. I really do appreciate every single one of you. Yes, Miss Purple, everybody enjoy the rest of their evening so much. I truly appreciate every single one of you. Yes, and have a good night, everybody. This is Life with Marlene, blogger for life coaching, motivation, and of Florida blogs, travel videos, and much more. Thank you so much, everybody, for your support. I thank you, and give yourself the permission to live your best life on your terms, with your gifts, with joy, with peace, personal growth. Yeah, all of those things. It's what each of us deserves, but what are you going to do to be able to receive it and maintain it? Okay, I will tap in on the next one. Everybody, have a great rest of your evening.